Welcome back to Joe Stunner Boxing. Jack Catterall knocks out Ekow Essuman in the 11th round of, well, I'll go into it in a moment, but the ending was slightly controversial. There was a sort of half slip. I mean, there was a punch thrown, and Essuman was moving forward as he'd done throughout the entire fight. He sort of slipped. He regained his footing. And the referee, John Latham, was quite far away from the fighters. And within a second or two, as he regained his footing, Essuman, Catterall let his hands go and knocked him over. Now, I think there was a call for a break, I think. And there must have been, because there was no knockdown called. It was Essuman ended up on his back, got up, and we were sort of thinking, okay, is this a punch after the call for a break? Is he going to get 5 minutes to recover, or But no, the referee just waved him back, and then a few seconds later, I mean, Catterall went straight for the kill. He really is an enigma in that sense. Sometimes he looks really nasty. He goes for the kill, lets his hands go, punches in bunches, and other times he's conservative beyond belief. But he tore after Essuman. By this point, Essuman's right eye was shut tight, virtually. I mean, it was ridiculous. He couldn't see a lot of the punches coming. He had the high guard. Catterall is extremely accurate. He let salvos go, bang, 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 both hands. Couple of uppercuts in there. There was a big temple punch as well, which seemed to sort of half knock out Essuman, and then another couple of punches, and suddenly Essuman's through the ropes and face down on the ring apron, and the fight was stopped. So there was that controversial little bit before the knockout, which people are going to look into. But it was, if I've got to think of a word for Jack Catterall, that word is enigma, because for the first 4 rounds, he looked like he was after an early stoppage. He came out very, very quickly, southpaw, compared to the orthodox stance of Essuman. He was letting his backhand go well, the straight left, and it looked like he was, he's got Bozy Ennis in his corner. This was their first fight together. He looked like he wanted to impress not just the public, but maybe the new trainer. And he was letting his hands go, very sharp punches, very precise punches. He's technically, he's very, very good, Jack. And in the third round, he all but flattened Essuman with a big backhand that slapped him down. And Essuman's nose was a mess. I mean, it must be broken. Surely it must be broken. There's blood pissing out of the bridge of the nose. It looked to me like it was broken anyway. If not, then I'll be amazed. But Essuman looked out of it. And then I think it was the 4th round. You would think, he's going to finish it here. Or certainly the round after the knockdown, you thought he's going to finish it here, Catterall. But no, he didn't. And he was still boxing. He went back to his boxing, sensible boxing. But gradually, Essuman, against all odds, seemed to come back into it. And certainly from, I suppose, about 8, 9, 10, those rounds, maybe 7, 8, 9, 10, Essuman was back in the game. It was amazing, despite the fact that he picked up a horrendous, swollen eye, which, like I say, by the end of the fight was if it wasn't shut tight, then it was only a little slit. I think it was his right eye. But he wasn't the only one suffering injuries, because in the 7th round, there was a very bad cut on Catterall's right eye that was caused by a punch, quite clearly a punch, not a headbutt. Normally these things are headbutts or head clashes, but no. The punch landed as Catterall was twisting at the waist. He kind of walked into a hook, and his eye went, started pissing blood. There was blood all over the canvas, blood on Essuman's white boots. Catterall was covered in blood. It was a bit of a bloodbath, this. And you thought, well, what's going on here? Is the tide turning? Because now either Essuman was going to get stopped because of the eye, or, maybe Catterall would get stopped if the cut got worse, because they didn't seem to control it that well. And gradually Essuman was forcing the issue, getting back into the fight. Difficult to say whether he'd pulled back the deficit. I don't know. But for a 36-year-old, this guy's got, the perfect moniker, the engine, Ekow Essuman. He's like Fabio Wardley, just as teak tough with this unbelievable engine. And yeah, he can be hurt. And when you look at his resume, I mean, he's got 28 wins with 8 KOs. This was his second defeat in the first time he was stopped. He did lose to Harry Scarf back in 2023, but he has beaten, Samuel Antwi, Chris Congo, Ben Vaughan when he was undefeated. He had that Josh Taylor he beat. He had that fantastic 10th round stoppage over Owen Cooper when he was undefeated. He was on the floor in the 9th and knocked Cooper out in the 10th. I mean, he's got it's like a who's who of domestic level welterweights. And, when he beat Congo, of course, that was for the British and Commonwealth belts. He subsequently lost them to Harry Scarf, but he's always been in that mix, that domestic level mix. Very, very tough man to beat. And you were thinking, okay, he's done 12 rounds against, 10 rounds many times, 12 rounds several times. I mean, this guy, the engine, I think he's been 12 rounds about 4 or 5 times against good quality opposition. He's beaten Chris Jenkins. I think he's even got a win over Cedric Payne. Remember him who gave Conor Benn a couple of good runarounds? Arguably won the first fight, but this guy is a tough proposition. And you were thinking, it's a 12-round fight. Catterall's cut. Maybe he's creeping back into it. Maybe he's going to get the job done. But then Catterall, and he does have world-class skills, Catterall, regardless of what you think of him as entertainment-wise. And this was a pretty entertaining fight, all things considered. But that's not always the case with Catterall. You were thinking, the world-class skills probably made all the difference, because Catterall, in the 11th round, started turning the screws, and like I said earlier, got the job done eventually. But there's no shame for Ekow Essuman. I mean, 36 years of age, he's been British and Commonwealth champ. He's got some excellent names on his record, and he didn't seem like a shot fighter to me, nowhere near it. This is the type of beating that will take it out of you, though. This will take a few years off your career, I think, and he needs to be checked out, because he was given oxygen afterwards as he was on the ring apron. Catterall was extremely respectful towards him, as he should be. And these two guys gave everything, both a credit to British boxing, absolutely. For Catterall, still quite enigmatic. I've got to say it. He had Essuman out in the 3rd or 4th round, nearly out. Got the job done in the 11th, but there were lulls. There were definitely lulls. And I don't know. I've been watching Jack Catterall for years, and I still can't work out where he fits in the world, on the world stage. He is a world-class fighter, and he will give people, lots of problems. But at 32, and having been denied at the 140 poundage the chance to be undisputed world champion, as he should have been when he beat Josh Taylor the first time and got robbed, I think it's he needs to get his skates on in terms of, and finally, not flatter to deceive, but actually, pick up a world belt. He'll get the opportunity. He's with Matchroom. He's got, Eddie Hearn in his corner and all the rest of it. Turkey Yellow Sheikh backing him. I don't think he's ever fought in Riyadh, does he, Catterall? I wonder if they'll put him on one of those cards. But anyway, he got the job done. So commiserations to Ekow Essuman. All the best to Jack Catterall. What did you think of this fight? What do you think about Catterall? How good is he? I mean, I know he's not Mr. Entertainment. He kind of reminds me of a sort of male Sky Nicholson in terms of style sometimes, in that he's technically very good but very dull. Southpaw as well. Or maybe you'd say Sky is a female Jack Catterall. I don't know. 6 of one, half dozen of the other. But let me know what you think of him. Let me know. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed the video, please click the like button thingy, and also subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. We got the big one to come. Conor Benn, Chris Eubank Jr. rematch. Watch out for the review. All the stars are there, apparently, but we'll see. As long as it's a good fight, I really don't give a shit. Anyway, I'll get you later. Bye for now.